When life pulls the rug out from underneath your feet, it's not asking you to lose your balance. It's asking you to find a new one. Let's dive in today. Who's fired up? Who's ready? Who's ready? How many of you are like, what the heck did I sign up for? I just got in this random lady's car. Yes.
Up on the way.
I know. I love it. I love it. That's what Genesis did today. She just randomly picked up someone.
I know, girl. I really did. I was on the side of the curb and said, hey, girl. Yes.
Zandra.
Now you're going to remember every time you say her name, you're going to say
Zandra.
Fancy.
I know, fancy. Fancy Zandra. Fancy. Oh my goodness. Welcome to Talking with Teri. I'm your host, Teri Cardula. Thank you for joining us on the Entrepreneurial Girlfriend Hour, along with our live in-studio co-creators. Woo! This episode is sponsored by Complete Business Accounting and Imagine Choice, Customized Health Solutions. Those that are new to me, I've taken my 28 years of counseling experience, combined it with energy psychology, and then applied the principles of quantum physics to help us really clear the blocks that hold us back, but then get ourselves into that place where we can tap in, tune in, and turn on our infinite knowing, our infinite wisdom, so that we can shine our light in a much bigger way. All right? So we're going to jump in here. How many of you are runners or have done a marathon?
No, I've done a marathon.
Oh my heavens, there's several. Half marathons. How about a full marathon? Okay, you're a runner. I don't identify as a runner, but I did do running. So I did a marathon one time, and it was on my bucket list. And I had this bucket. When you put things on your bucket list and then you start to speak life into them, there's always somebody eavesdropping, right? And they hear like, and so my friend Kelly goes, me too. I want to run a marathon. And I said, shit, that means somebody heard this. And now she's like now holding me accountable to make this happen. And at first it was going great, okay? But then we started running and then you like run 100 miles just to run 26 for the day, right? I'm just telling you, I don't know. It's bananas. Anyway, so we're training. I ended up getting injured and then I had to do some rehabilitation, all good. In the 11th hour, rehabilitation person that I was working with for my knees, she's like, hey, by the way, what type of course is this course on? And I'm like, I don't know. Now, we signed up based on a couple factors. One, it was in California, okay? Sea level. We're in Colorado. We think we're being smart, okay? We go from mountains to sea level. We're at an advantage, right? We signed up based on the weekend. And that particular weekend, what was available was the Catalina Island Marathon. So any of you that know California, okay, you fly into LA and then you take a ferry out to Catalina Island. I didn't even know this existed, okay? And Catalina Island is this huge mountain, okay? And so my girlfriend, right before, she's, hey Teri, like this is like a week before, she calls me up, she's, hey Teri, I think we might have a problem. I go, what? And she goes, I just went and looked down, all the way down to the map. It's 1,400 elevation gain. So it looks like this, and then there's these little dippies, and then down, okay? So you ride the ferry at 3 a.m. to get dropped off on the other side of the island, and then you undress because it's freezing because you don't want to take all the clothes, right? Because you're going to run forever. And then you run this marathon, right? Anyways, so we're out and we are running this marathon, and I do have to do this little quick side note because she made fun of me the night before about having a fanny pack. So she just gave me so much, what do you want to say? She just razzed me about having this fanny pack, right? And I'm like, at some point you're going to want to get my fanny pack, okay? Because I had my shot blocks, I had my chapstick, I had my Advil, I had all the things, an extra water, like all the things. And so she gave me a hard time. So I actually made up this crazy little song about this, my fanny pack, hey, hey, hey. And I'm like whipping it around. I'm like, hey, hey. And so I say, at some point tomorrow, you're going to want to get in my fanny pack. And you're going to have to beg for it, okay? So anywho, we start this marathon out. And her strides, she's way taller than I am, even though I am a tall person, okay? And her strides are bigger. So I was like, after 5 miles, I'm like, I am struggling to stay up with you. You, see you later. I'm on my own, right? So anywho, we're going through this marathon, and I start meeting these amazing people, and I become this little cheerleader. Running that makes me do this. I don't know what happens. I'm like, you go girl, like, and I get nicknames for people, and then whatever. It's something. Anyways, so I meet this guy named Steve, and him and I are staying together, and him and I have the same pace. We're running, I don't know, I think mile 5 we met, and then around mile 10, his legs start spasming so bad, and it looks horrendous. And you can just physically see them, and they're like, "Arr," and I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's in so much pain, and I'm just gonna quit. I'm gonna quit. And I said, no, you're not. I said, it's mental. It's mental. And as I'm trying to say this, I'm lying to myself, okay? Because I'm like, it's so physical. But everyone says it's a mental game, right? Running is a mental game. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna lie to him and say like, hey, you're not freaking out. Your body's not freaking out. And so I started coaching him through what feels good on your body. And he's my left arm. I'm like, great. Tell me about your left arm. So he starts telling me about his left arm, and I was like, what else feels good? And my right arm feels good too. And I was like, great, tell me about your right arm. And I feel my, and so we started working through what felt really good, right? And as he started talking about this, as we're running, and all of a sudden at some point, his leg stops spasming, okay? And we continue on the race together, right? Now this marathon, I'll be honest, it is known for having 2 things, M&Ms and pretzels at all the snacks, okay? I was not a fan, okay? I was not a fan. I don't like chocolate, and these pretzels are making me thirsty, right? So, not a fan. Anywho, at mile 23, I'm just telling you, there was like this smorgasbord of all these fruits, and I'm like, I'm good, I'm out, I'll tap out, right? So, we continue running, and then the little switchies, these little switchbacks, the little dippies on the map, right? Were actually switchbacks, okay? You go down 10%, up 10%, down 10%, and I was like, there were 7 of them, okay? And I'm like, I was so exhausted, I was so done, I was like, I'm done. And I told Steve, I said, Steve, buddy, nice knowing ya, I'm down, I'm gonna find the chicken exit, I'm gonna find the giant slide somewhere, I'm done, I'm out. And he's like, you did not let me quit at mile 10, I'm not gonna let you quit at mile 23, right? So anywho, I just told him, I was like, I just feel like crying. And he's, you can cry. And I'm like, okay. But I kept it in, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm just gonna continue, right? And anywho, he coached me through what felt good, focusing on the positive. It's a mental game, right? All the things. And then at the very last piece of it is it's straight down, right? So we're making 7.5 minute miles. Because if you stop, you're sliding, it's not good. My right pants would not have made it. But I share that story because we can get so wrapped up. Now, for those that were here a couple weeks ago, I wanted to cancel and I wanted to not have the show because I was in a funk. You were there. And I was just in a funk, and I was like, you know what? Nope, I'm going to just cancel. And then it was so beautiful. And it was such a beautiful moment. And it was just a new awareness, new alignment. And again, just that reinforcement of we are here. And there's going to be times when you have these physical pains and you're like, oh my gosh, even though I know that a lot of times it's mental, right? So I invite you to think about this process when we're going through big things of looking for the positive, looking for what is working, right? And so that whole next 2 days, I did a lot of personal development on myself. And even though I can teach it, I can preach it, and I implement it in my own life, I'm always constantly growing. And so here's the reality of it. We are here to grow, evolve, expand, right? And so as we do, we're going to be hitting up onto those spots where it feels gritty. You're coming up to that gritty feeling or that expansion feeling. And it's okay, how do we breathe through this, right? How do we breathe through the physical pain that we're going through? How do we breathe through focusing on the yummy stuff? And years ago, I'm going to share one more story and then we'll jump in with everyone. So back when I was growing up, I didn't have the easiest childhood. And so one of the ways in which I was able to just reconnect with me. And I didn't realize until many years later what I was doing. Probably wasn't until I was in high school or even college. What I was doing, I was really, in some way, doing I would consider a healthy form of escaping. And so what I would do is I had this red version, okay? I had this red duffel bag. And inside this red duffel bag, I packed it with juicy stuff, okay? Now remember, I was like 7, okay? And I had a blanket. I had a journal. I had a radio. Do you guys know what those are? There was a little tiny radio and it ran on batteries. It was the cutest thing. And it would produce music, right? For those that are joining us that don't know what a radio is, that's what it is, right? Anywho, and then I would have snacks and I would pack myself a little lunch, a little sandwich, and all this good, juicy stuff. Now, as an adult, I also pack in like some cards. The other day, I was just like in the funk and I was like, I need my red bag. So I didn't have my red bag, but I went and packed myself a little bag. And then I went on an adventure, right? I went in, and you can take an adventure wherever you go. You can go into the backyard, whatever. And what this did for me when I was growing up, it was just really grounding. I took that notebook out and I just would write and spend time with my thoughts, my feelings. I would write poetry. I'd write short stories. I was just really giving myself permission to be, right? And I think what's happening right now on this planet is that we're feeling a little scattered. How many of you would say that this week has been a little scattered, or last week, right? And it feels, and what keeps coming up over and over again is that what I think, so in 2020, when the world went wackadoo, it felt like energetically there was like a blanket of fear that just got thrown over the entire planet, right? And recently, I feel like that blanket of fear, I'm talking about less than a year, maybe 8 months, 7 months, that blanket of fear has returned again. And I think we all had the anticipation that once the election happened, it would change. And once New Year's Eve happened, it would change. Once the Chinese New Year happened, it would change. And it hasn't felt like it has changed. Would you guys agree? Yes. And so I think what we are being called to do is be more in tune and shutting off the noise, right? And so what this represents for me is shutting off the noise. It is escaping in a healthy way back to ourselves, strengthening ourselves, allowing ourselves to reconnect in that place and space. So I thought today we would start out with playing with this idea of really what is it that's coming up for people in their life, in their business, that feels wonky, that feels like it needs some work. I'm just opening it up to anyone or anyone that wants to share. Anyone that feel brave enough to share what's coming up for them in this time of transition? Yes.
Let's see, I'm not even exactly sure how to share this, but I, in the last 2 days, feel like the rug is being the universe is trying to pull the rug out from underneath my feet. And I just keep reminding myself, it doesn't matter where the rug is, the universe has always got my back, but I have to keep reminding myself because I just feel so unsettled for the first time in a really long time. It's just like, whoa, what the just happened?
Yeah.
Everything is just shifting.
Yeah.
And it came from nowhere, and I was like, I just feel a little rocked.
That was my 2 weeks ago. Can anyone else relate to this right now? And maybe it's not that extent. Maybe it's not a 10, maybe it's a 7 or a 6 or a 5. But I do agree, yes, there's a lot of shifting that's happening, and it's, whoo, pack your bag, girl. Pack your bag. I'm telling you, it's shifting, it's energetically shifting. A lot of things are happening, a lot of downloads are happening. So what can we do to support you today?
The truth of the matter is as soon as I leave here, I'm going home to pack a bag. I'm going on a trip.
You're not going on a trip, yes.
No, I am. I am going home to pack a bag. I really am. I'm going to the airport first thing in the morning.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think really the best way I could be supported is just a universal reminder that all the shit that might be coming up is always there for our benefit, and that whatever we're facing is meant to be, and
I'll have
we
you
will
pop
all get
up
through
here.
this.
I'll have you pop up here if you want to come up here. Do you want to play?
Okay.
Do it anyway.
Okay.
Do you want me to test it? Do you want to test it to see?
Test first.
Do you want me to test on you? Come up here and we'll test on you. I feel resistance. Do you want to take your watch off real quick? Just say truth, my name is Misha. Okay, resist. Okay, say truth, my name is
My name is
Henry.
Henry.
Resist. Okay. All right, now just say truth is, would this be in my greatest and highest good?
Truth, would this be in my greatest and highest good?
Resist. Sorry, girl.
Okay, I'm here.
Do you want to be here? Sure. Okay. Let's get you mic'd up. And yes, I do want you to take this.
Friends don't let friends shop for health insurance alone, especially online with a bottle of wine. Skip the spammy calls, endless emails, confusing options. We've got you covered, literally. I'm Deb Salmons with Imagine Choice Customized Health Solutions. No more guesswork. We shop the best plans for you with lower rates the healthier you are. We personalize your plans with confidential information and it's hassle-free. Let us take the stress off your plate so you can focus on what matters most. Imagine Choice Health Insurance with a human touch.
We are back here with Misha. All right, what do you feel comfortable sharing? And I want you to kind of keep it in general,
Yeah.
just so that we can extrapolate to more people.
Okay. It's very
Because
good.
it feels, okay, you said it feels like the rug is being pulled out underneath you.
Yeah. I had got some news a couple days ago that just was like
Jarring.
Yeah. The ripple effects were mind-boggling.
Anyone else felt like that? Anything else like that? Or just, and it doesn't have to be to this magnitude. It can be at the smaller magnitudes of 3, 4, 5, but it's like this, whoo, okay.
Ooh.
Who signed up for that, right? I like to just start rocking. Like,
You curl up in a ball.
all kidding aside, when I say that, I will literally, joking aside, will rock, and it sounds weird. But there's a lot of brain research that shows that just simply rocking, if you think about you rock a baby, right? It's it's natural. It's very soothing to our nervous system. And so even though I will joke and say, I'm just going to rock and be like, okay, how much better can I get? How much better can I get? But I will say this, I will write down these couple tools as we go through this. And one of the tools I will tell people, when I don't understand it, what happens, our brain will naturally try to fantasy fill it because it's trying to figure it out, right? Our brains are naturally meant to figure it out. It wants to fix it. It wants to create the solution to it. And so as much as we want to do, that does not create the space for the awareness or the experience or whatever to fully download into us. So we start to create that resistance and be like, figure this out. And it doesn't help. So I will usually ask the question, what's right about this that I'm not getting? And wait for the awareness, because sometimes that awareness comes a day later, a week later, or whatever, but sometimes that awareness will help ease it a little bit. Does that make sense? So I want you to do that right now. I want you to put your hand on your heart if you want to, just to activate that piece of it. And then just take a deep breath in and out. Everyone else, join in. Take a deep breath in and out. And we're going to do one more. Breathe in and out. And we're going to do one more just because I heard y'all shuffling stuff. Okay, and I want you, Misha, and everyone else too, I just want you to ask the question. So whatever your situation is, I want you to just ask the question, what did I just say? Yeah, my body.
My body.
What is it
What is it
that you're trying to tell me
that you're trying to tell me
that I'm refusing to hear?
that I'm refusing to hear? I got a very quick download on that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to hear it. If you feel comfortable sharing.
Recently, I've had an awareness that I struggle with giving up, letting go, being in control. Like, Be in control.
You're the only person.
I know.
You're the
In
only
a room
person.
full of female entrepreneurs, I'm the only one that has this, right?
You're the only one. I am so sorry. We cannot help you. We cannot help you. There's no one else can relate to this.
Yeah. So this was a baseball bat to the side of the head of like, you will give up control, and
Yeah.
it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Where are you at now with it? Like, I mean, that awareness is huge. Okay.
Actually,
Does that help put that situation into focus? Bring into
it
focus?
does, because I keep for the last couple of days, I've just been like saying over and over again, the universe has always got my back. There's a good, this is for a reason. Although, yeah, I've been rocking myself to sleep at night, literally. But just reminding myself, not feeling it yet, but reminding myself that that's the case. I had a friend tell me this morning that she just was diagnosed with cancer diagnosis. And that just rocked me. Oh, this is put it in perspective moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's
sure,
a moment of feeling like the rug's getting pulled out under your feet, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So, I don't know, today's felt different energetically from the last 2 days.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Anything that's coming up for you as far as this control piece?
I hadn't connected it to that until just now. There's more for me to dig into about control and trusting the universe and trusting
Yes.
source. And
So whatever you believe in, it's all is welcome here. God, spirit, angels, Smurfs, whatever it is, okay? It's fine. And are you willing to play for a second?
Sure.
So I want you to close your eyes for a second. And I want you to think about that control, that need to control. How many of you, just by a show of hands so I can see them, just how many of you can relate to just this control on some level? That is every single hand. Except for this one.
she's busy. She's busy writing.
I'm just kidding. Holy buckets. I think this control is a huge one for a lot of people. And I know this one was a big one for me as well. And being able to let go and to surrender and letting go of just the need. Today and again, it's a conscious choice for me to practice it. It is not something that comes automatically yet, but it's just this constant choice of nope, surrender. Okay, bless and release. A good friend of mine, before she passed over, she said, you've got to let go and let God, and just let go, let God. And so that becomes one of my mantras. Let go, let God, let go. So let's do this. Think about that sense of control for you. And if there's a certain area in your life that's really intense, that you are so resisting it, and you're not willing to let go of that control. Whether it's a business.
Pick one.
Here's the dealio. Here's the dealio. I'm going to pull out. This is my magic, what do you call it? Coffee table. So I'm going to grab a marker. So we're going to call this our control forest. Give me 1 second. I'm going to draw something out here. How's that look? Looks pretty good.
Wonderful.
Thank you. So if everyone can join that and see that. So for those, this control, obviously it's a big global issue, right? And I call this control forest because we have lots of little trees that have made up this either need to control, this feeling of, lack of, whatever that piece is. And if we go back in time, we can say, oh yeah, when I was in 4th grade, I wasn't this. And in 7th grade, this happened. And when I was 21 years old, this happened. And right? We can go back through and realize that there's a lot of things that get connected to these either memories or experiences that we have. So ideally, we want to go for the big ones. So the big trees have the most intensity to them. And when you go for the big trees, what happens naturally inside the brain is the other ones fall down by themselves. Because if we look at the brain, now this is what I imagine the brain looks like in 2D, okay? That inside out feelings had nothing on me. Everything is interconnected. So when I think about this experience that happened in 4th grade, fear, anxiety, I was anxious when my daughter was born, or all these little things that happen that I'm trying to control. look like this. So what happens is when we clear out one, there's a natural generalization effect that happens because everything's interconnected in our brain, right? And so that's the power of that, is when we can connect with one, the rest of them can start to fall down on themselves. Does that make sense? So is there a big one that you're willing to play with today? And I want everyone to think about this for themselves as well, of one that comes up. And is there a central one or one that's connected in lots of different ways?
Maybe I think a lack of a sense of safety from my young childhood. Divorced parents at a young age, lots of chaos and screaming between them, observing violence, that stuff.
So I'm going to work on her, but we all will have an impact. So I want you to, if you're feeling comfortable, you're welcome to tap along with us. So I'm going to incorporate emotional freedom technique, access consciousness, some energy work by Donna Eden, and just all the tools and tricks and tools that I've experienced along the way. So close your eyes for a second. I want you to think about that lack, like that, what did you say? Lack of sense of safety and control, and wanting to control things. Because if I can control it, guess what? It's going to be okay. Because women get stuff done better than men. Bosses get things done better than their employees or their staff. Or that's why we have a lot of women entrepreneurs. We don't want to give away the control, because if we do, what happens? It doesn't get done. It's not the
They
one
can't
who
do it
is-
as good as I can do it.
I know, right? We've been so, I know, still to this day. I hope my husband never watches this, but the way he does dishes and puts the dishes in the dishwasher,
Oh God.
I look away. I look away, and I know that they're all going to get washed. It's not how I would do it, because that doesn't make sense. The pots go on the bottom, right? But they get clean. I don't know how. It's magic. It's magic. It's just magic, right? But we want to control things, and so what happens is, and oh my goodness, back in the day, my girlfriend gave us all these little bunnies, and the metaphor was, when you're trying to control things, you're like trying to squeeze the bunny, right? And it's like that show, the Acme Acres, that Elmira. Was it the little, and she was like, I'm gonna love and squeeze them and hug them forever. And she's squeezing the animals, and their eyes are like poking out, right? And it's a graphic image, I know, but here's the reality, is when we start squeezing control, we will squeeze the life out of whatever we're doing, whether that's our relationships, whether that's our business. We could actually squeeze the life out of your business, literally, by trying to control every little thing about it and every little person about it, right? So on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the most intense of needing to be in control, otherwise your sense of your safety and all the things that you can control are called into question. Where would you put that? And 0 being none at all. Where would you put yourself on that scale?
I'm probably on the higher end. 8.
Okay, 8.
I'm just gonna.
I want everyone in the room, if you want to, on your paper, write down your number for you, okay? This is a big one for everyone. So you're going to want to save this and come back to this video again and again, okay? You said 8. I'm going to have you go ahead and tap right here. Everyone, if you want to, go ahead and tap right here and just repeat after me. If you want to say it in your head to fill in the blank for you, make it specific for you so that you can be supported in this ways too. Even though I'm terrified of losing control.
I'm terrified of losing control.
I deeply and completely
love
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
Even though
If
I lose control,
what
will happen?
will happen?
No, I'm asking you.
No, if I lose control,
Bad things happen.
bad things happen.
Bad things happen if I'm not in control. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I couldn't control it when I was younger.
I couldn't control it when I was younger.
And it was chaotic.
And
I couldn't make sense of it.
I couldn't make sense
But
of
I got to figure out everything.
everything.
And I had to be 3 steps ahead of everyone. So I could know how everyone was going to respond or react. So I could take care of myself.
So I could know everything and take care of myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I know. That was a lot of responsibility.
That was a lot of responsibility.
For a little tiny kid.
For a little tiny kid.
I look at my nieces or nephews.
I look at my nieces and nephews.
or my own kids
my own kids.
and think about them at that age
Think about them at that age.
and trying to have them control people or things.
Try to put them in those situations.
It's hard to imagine putting them in those situations
It's hard to imagine.
because they were so young.
Because they were so young.
I choose to know
I choose to know.
I was so young
I was so young.
and I did the best I could.
And I did the best I could.
I mean, looking back,
Looking back,
I was kind of a badass
I was a badass.
because I kept it all together.
Because I kept it all
Because
together.
I kept myself safe.
I kept myself safe.
And I did the best that I could
And I did the best that I could
to keep myself safe.
to keep myself safe.
And I did a bang up job
And I did a bang up job.
because I could anticipate people.
I could anticipate people.
I could read body cues like nobody else.
I could read people.
And I can still do that.
And still do that.
And I'm like ninja like. So it served me in my business
It served me.
because I can tell who's being fake and who's being real.
I can read people.
I choose to know
I choose to know.
that was a gift that came out of this.
That was a gift that came out of this.
I choose to know
I choose to know.
not all of them felt like gifts.
Not all of it felt like gifts.
Because what am I doing? I'm just like.
We're doing the
I
same
know,
spot.
I know. Tap at the top of the head right here. I choose to know
I choose to know
that I had to do a lot of adult responsibilities
that I had a lot of adult responsibilities.
and I didn't know how to handle it.
I didn't know how to handle it.
I didn't know what to do with it.
I didn't know what to do with
But
it.
I choose to know.
But I choose to know.
I did the best that I could
I did the best that I could
with the information,
with the information,
the resources,
the resources,
and the knowledge I had at the moment.
and the knowledge I had at the
It
moment.
may not have been perfect,
It may not have been perfect,
but I know
but I know
I took a lot on
I took a lot on
to try to control everything
to try to control everything
so that I could be safe.
so I could be safe.
My job was to keep myself safe,
My job was to keep myself
and I
safe.
did a pretty good job
I did a pretty good job
until it no longer served me.
until it no longer served me.
And now I'm trying to do that same thing, and right at the side of the hand or the thumb, can I touch you? Right there. I choose to know
I choose to know
that I am safe
that I am safe
in releasing
in releasing
anything in the first finger, anything
anything
that is not serving me now,
that is not serving me now,
that I took on
that I took on
trying to keep myself safe,
trying to keep myself safe
middle finger, in a chaotic situation.
in a chaotic situation.
That wasn't my fault,
That wasn't my fault.
but I choose to know
I choose to know
there's been some great blessings. And then skip your ring finger and go to your pinky.
there's been some great blessings.
I choose to know
I choose to know
that it is time for me
it's time for me
to bless and release.
to bless and release.
Look at all the gifts that gave you. And I want you to tap at the back of the hand. I'm going to say this part. So all the places and spaces that you took on everyone else's energy, experiences, anywhere that you tried to make yourself the adult so that you could keep yourself in the environment safe, anywhere that you did your best to keep yourself safe, which is a great thing, right? Like, imagine being resourceful enough to figure it out, to know with all that you were just trying to keep yourself. So anywhere that's not allowing you to just bless and release, that you did the best that you could at the time you had with the knowledge, information that you had. Anywhere that's not allowing that, times a billion, gazillion, bugazillion, 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 bugazillion. Are you willing to revoke, recant, destroy, and uncreate that?
Yes.
Take a breath in and out. Right and wrong, good and bad, pocket pot, all these shorts, boys and beyonds. Take a quick break, or close your eyes just for a second, and take a deep breath in and out. What comes up for you? And go back into that scale of that sense of safety. Where would you put yourself? Of that control.
5.
Okay. Anything else that's coming up for you?
No, not that I can think of.
Anything else that's coming up for people back here? Anything that's coming up for y'all? Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I thought you were.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Let's go do it right here. So I'm going to have you tap right here. All the places and spaces that you've been holding on to this truth, that you have to prepare yourself. You have to be 5 steps ahead of the things. There's nobody else that can be in control because you have to be in control. What if this is being shown up for you to let go, to bless and release the Misha that had to survive to the Misha that can now allow? So all the places and spaces where you've been struggling with this, resisting it, fighting it, and being like, I am not going to do this, right? Like, I only know that because I've been there. You know what I'm saying? And you're like just digging your heels in longer and stronger, and it's just continuing the suffering, right? So all the places where you're trying to go the same direction, because what happens is, we do things in life because it serves us. And so it serves and serves and serves. And even though it didn't sound like it was serving for her, it was serving for her because it was keeping her safe, right? At the end of the day, it was keeping her safe. That is a basic biological need to be safe. And so it was serving, it was serving, it was serving. And at some point, it stopped serving her, okay? Let's say this is the date it stopped serving, but she does not know any other way or source to let go of it. So she keeps unconsciously and consciously trying to like move it forward with her, right? Even though it stopped serving here. So what's happening now in the gap is it's showing up in a different way for you. And now it's like, this is the 2x4 that's saying, go get it off, right? I'm going to force this into existence in this new way. So what if we now find another way? And it's not going to be easy, okay? But what are the ways in which I'm going to invite you to think about the ways in which you do try to control things? And what if I just allowed? And so what are some ways that I can allow in these situations? Does that make sense? Your homework is write down the things, all the ways I'm trying to control things from the beginning of your day all the way through your day. And just taking note of the things that you're trying to control. I want you to do this. I want you to tap right here. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to open your eyes. And then I want you to look hard down left without moving your head. And I want you to look hard down right without moving your head. Eyes in a circle. Go the other direction. Hum. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hum. Count to 10. I'm sorry, what am I saying? Take a deep breath in. Take a breath in. And out. Okay. Close your eyes again. Everyone else do this too. What's coming up for you?
Give me what number?
Yeah.
3.
Okay. Go ahead. I want you to tap right here. And I want you to follow my finger. So look down here, and everyone else just look down at the floor. And then just, if you will, just look at my finger. Breathe in. And then go up and look up at the ceiling. And then exhale as you bring your eyes back down. And look down at the floor and tap at the floor. And then breathe in. And then look up. And then exhale as you come back down. All right, and then just tap looking down at the floor. Breathe in and out. Okay, did that number go down or is it still hanging out there?
2.
Okay. So let's do this real quick. We'll do a little laser focus here. So even though I don't ever want to let go of this.
I don't ever want to let go of this.
Because who would Misha be?
Because who would Misha be?
Without controlling everything.
Without controlling
And
everything.
every person. And every situation.
And every situation.
And every conversation.
Every conversation.
And everything.
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 I know, it's so true, right? I choose to know
I choose to know
that I can be safe
that I can be safe
in releasing.
in releasing.
Because maybe I don't have to control everything.
Because maybe I don't have to control everything.
Maybe I can control just a few things.
Maybe I can just control a few
I
things.
can choose.
and choose.
I'm going to have you tap right here. Close your eyes. Open your eyes. Hard down left without moving your head. Hard down right without moving your head. Eyes in a circle. Go the other direction. Hum. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And hum. Take a deep breath in and out. And we're just going to have you tap right here. I'm going to have you go back on the karate chop here and just tap and just say, I choose to know
I choose to know
that I can be safe
that I can be safe
in forgiving myself
and forgiving myself
for being that young kid,
for being that young kid,
doing the best that I could
doing the best that I could
with what I had.
with what I had.
I was a pretty badass kid.
I was a pretty badass kid.
I got a lot of stuff done.
I got a lot of stuff done.
And I kept myself safe,
and I kept myself safe.
and I'm proud of that.
I'm proud of that.
Because what would I have been, or who would I have been,
What would I have been, or who would I have been
if I didn't keep myself safe?
I didn't keep
I
myself
might not
safe?
even be here.
I might not even be here.
So I kept myself alive.
Kept myself alive.
I kept myself safe.
kept myself safe.
And I'm proud of the person I was.
Proud of the person I was.
And I am proud of the person I'm becoming
I'm proud of the person I'm becoming
because of that.
because of that.
It gave me lots of lessons,
It gave me lots of lessons.
and it's created who I am today.
It's created who I am today.
And anything else that's coming up for you real quick? So the rugs that are being pulled out underneath people this is how I describe it. It feels like I created my whole life over here with the foundations that I had and the resources, and I became this person and being and all the things. And it's all been amazing and lovely, okay? And this rug that's being pulled out from underneath us is like, hey, all the things that you learned over here is now being shifted to over here. And now it's almost like now we get to create this new foundation. Does that make sense? And it's almost like this relearning of like the last like 5 or 6 years and taking that over with you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's just like a shake awake. Do you guys know what a shake awake is? So it's an alarm clock for the deaf and hard of hearing. It literally lays in your bed and it's called a shake awake. And so instead of, because they can't obviously hear, so it's a vibration. And so it's like, and you feel it and you shake awake, right? And so I literally feel like we're being shaken awake, right? Like it's over and it's like, but it's almost like a relearning. It's almost like if someone went into a coma and you've gone into a coma for 2 or 3 or 4 months, a lot of times people, their body's atrophied. And so they have to go through a relearning process. So they have to get back up on the walker and this stuff comes back in most cases, but it just is, it's relearning to walk again. It's relearning to do things again from a different, I'm going to say higher frequency, higher awareness. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so go back in. Where were you at with that sense of control? And I want everyone else to do this as well. 0 to 10.
2.
A 2.
2 or 1, yeah, it's way down.
Okay, we're going to do one more round of this. I choose to forgive myself.
I choose to forgive myself.
Or anyone else.
Or anyone else.
Who had a hand in this.
Who had a hand in this.
I choose to know.
I choose to know.
I am who I am today.
I am who I am today.
And I'm pretty damn proud of that.
And I'm pretty damn proud of that.
I've done a lot. I've done a lot.
Done a lot.
And I trust that my shitty cards.
I trust that my shitty cards.
That I was dealt. Just means. With 1,000% evidence.
With 1,000% evidence.
I am not meant to play small.
I'm not meant to play small.
I am meant to play big.
I am meant to play big.
I'm meant to do something extraordinary.
I'm meant to do something extraordinary.
Otherwise, I would have got better cards. It's just true. It's true. I have never seen somebody that got crappy cards go on and do something mediocre. I have never seen it. Crappy cards, extraordinary. Decent cards, ordinary. Decent cards are ordinary, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's no judgment of extraordinary or ordinary. It just means that you have been preparing your warrior-likeness, your inner knowing. That's, I'm going to warrior up in this lifetime. Not that we all agree to. I don't know. I don't feel like I signed up for mine, but apparently I signed up for mine too. We must have been at the same dinner party. And yeah, no, we didn't read the fine print.
We didn't read the fine print.
That's what happened.
Just like, okay.
That's what happened. All right, so I want you to do this. I choose to know.
I choose to know.
That I can be safe.
That I can be safe.
I can be safe in this body.
I can be safe in this body.
I can be safe in my life.
I can be safe in my life.
I can be safe as a mom.
I can be safe as a mom.
And I can be safe as a daughter.
I can be safe as a daughter.
I can be safe.
Be safe.
As an entrepreneur.
As an entrepreneur.
As a kick-ass businesswoman.
A kick-ass businesswoman.
I choose to know.
I choose to know.
This is my time.
This is my time.
I have been preparing for this.
I've been preparing for this.
My whole life.
My whole life.
And now I get to do it.
And now I get to do it.
I get to shine. I get to bring my story to life.
I get to shine and bring my story to life.
I get to impact other people.
Impact other people.
I choose to know that I am one of the light workers.
I choose to know that I am one of the light workers.
And I was chosen.
And I was chosen.
For this time.
For this time.
Yummy.
Yummy.
All right. Anything else that's coming up for you?
No, thank you.
How was this for you? How was this for y'all? Really good. All right. I want to hear from y'all. I'm going to have you pop down.
I'm Karen Zupa, founder of Complete Business Accounting. We're not your typical accounting firm. At Complete Business Accounting, we partner with you to make sense of your numbers so you can grow with confidence. From strategic bookkeeping to fractional CFO support, we provide the structure, insight, and clarity your business needs to thrive. You don't start a business to be worried about your finances. And with Complete Business Accounting, you won't have to be. Let's move your business forward. Visit cbaccounting.net to get started.
What came up for other people as we did that? Any awarenesses, insights? Yes, go ahead.
For me,
When you talked about control, I've thought about control many a times. I work with myself on control. I let control go. If I wasn't in the room, what would happen? And that's very vivid conversation because I try to control what's in the room.
Yeah.
So I say that to myself, and I realized I went, oh, people always ask me, how are you or Tim? You're so perfect together. It's a great relationship. How does that happen? And I just realized when we were doing this, I go, I give up control. Not like I give in, but it's a great example. The towels that I hang in my bathroom, he wants them hung a certain way. I want them hung a certain way. So he hangs his way, and I hang mine my way. And that's letting it be okay to have that relationship, whatever it turns out to be. I don't have to control it because my way is the right way.
Yeah.
So that came up very vivid. I was like,
interesting.
very cool.
And that works though. So
Oh,
you're doing
yeah.
it your way. He's doing it his way.
Yes. And when I have the public bathrooms, they're done my way, of course.
Of course.
Of course. But that was fabulous. I loved it.
Okay.
It was
Any
very cool.
any other awarenesses, insights, feedback, things that are coming up? Yeah.
What I realized is when you were saying that a lot of us are going through the same experiences, I've totally felt that in my life, that you don't know what someone's going through by just looking at them. And before she said what she was feeling, I felt the word surrender, because there's something so powerful. It doesn't have to be biblical. It just means that you give in to whatever's meant to happen. And so when I was listening to you, Misha, and the conversation that resonated with me about surrendering to that moment. But I realized I have these tools that allow me to get over hardships, and that's what I'm sharing in my messages. But the feeling of the present moment, like grounding yourself in the present moment. So as y'all were doing the tapping, I was just fully in the present. And that's one of the things that I think is such a gift, is the present moment. So.
I think we've forgotten. We just spin out. Oh, go ahead and hand it back to Melissa. But I think we've just gotten so, the last 6 months, year has been so intense. Back in the day, now I don't play video games, bear with me. My daughter had me playing this car one, and you would drive it, and then there was like this little rainbow patch, and the rainbow patch makes you go faster. It's like you just get instant speed right through it. So here's what I think happened. So back in 2011 is when the energy started shifting on the planet. We were not necessarily, a lot of us were not aware, and some of you in this room were very aware. And so we didn't necessarily realize it, but we would have these intense highs, and then we'd have a reprieve, okay? And the reprieve would be like a month, 3 months, 4 months. Then it'd be intense energy, reprieve. Intense energy, reprieve, right? So we had this reprieve. So even though we were going through intense times, we had an opportunity to have a reprieve, okay? What started happening in 2019 is really when things started shaking up. How many of you had a really hard 2019, right? There's a lot of people that had a hard 19s. And then in case you didn't experience that, 2020, wipe out, right? Like wipe out. Like good thing I brought my booty pants to wipe out. Just kidding. But it was a complete wipeout, right? What it feels like, it's been like we've been going up this intense energy, right? We're going up, up. And now we're just hitting these really speedy patches, but we're just keeping up, and we have not had reprieve. So we really haven't had a solid reprieve since 2018. And so that's why it feels like, ugh! And that's why everyone else around us feels like, ugh! And my husband and my daughter, I'm like, you know what? Just have grace. Like I become this, I love mall watching people, okay? It's my favorite thing to do. I just love watching people. And I make these like funny stories up in my head, and I just like to entertain myself for sure. However, what I'm saying is that when people are up and somebody's screaming at somebody else, and I'm just like sending love and light, because I'm like, I know, I get it. Some of us do our stuff quiet in our rooms, and some people just shout and yell. And so just having like massive discernment, but massive patience and massive like grace, because you don't know. I just have realized you don't ever know. And I was a therapist for 28 years, and people presented themselves like normal people. Every one of you look like normal people to me, right? And then until you get to know somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, you just got diagnosed with this, you just have this going on, you have that going on. Like a couple years ago, like I was waiting for the day that the camera crew jumped out of my life and said, you're on candid camera. Because that's the only way that would have made sense. But you know what? They never came. And I was like, okay, this is good content. They're missing out. Anyways, go ahead, Melissa.
So when you were talking about having the rug pulled out from under you, or how many of us feel like we've had the rug pulled out from under us? what came up for me, and it relates to Misha talking about control, is what if the rug being pulled out from under you is happening for you, not to you?
Oh yeah, 100%. Again, you're rocking when it's happening. You're like, damn you. Yeah, but you're right. You're right. Always. That's one of my, thank you for sharing that, because that's one of my biggest mantras is, this is happening for me, not to me. This is happening for me, not to me. And just holding the space of not knowing, because oftentimes when we're going through the things, we just can't see it yet, right? And then it's not until we get past it to where we can be like, okay, and we can circle back around. I had a client not too long ago. He had a situation that was so devastating on his entire career, his reputation, all of it. And it didn't come full circle until 25 years later. Jesus. And then it made sense. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh. So I love when it comes full circle and you can connect the dots, but not necessarily always in the moment. You can connect the dots, right? So one of the things that I say on top of that, I always say, this is going to make great content. Somehow, some way. And some of you know that I have a journal for funnies, like funny stories, because I get myself into predicaments all the time. And so one of my bucket list ideas or things to do was to do stand-up comedy. So now I have so I've done stand-up comedy twice. And so now I have a journal for all the funny stories. And so I just keep adding to them. Not that I want to necessarily do stand-up again, but I'm just like, oh, it's great content. It goes in the funny journal. Yeah, it's a good one, right? Pain and all. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Any other insights, awarenesses, takeaways, things that came up for you?
Hello. So what's interesting about that is actually I've been on this road of figuring out control for the last several years, because if you knew me 5 years ago, I was the biggest control freak ever possible. The little things still, I can never touch certain things because it wasn't in a certain arena. Yeah. So the interesting thing is actually there's been a shift in my life recently where I've been working on letting go and letting God and doing certain things like that. And now I've actually had things in my life where I have to decide yes or no. I feel like I've been given the control again, where I've been like, no, you figure it out for me. I don't want to figure this out right now. And so I think it's a weird shift of going into that mode of, oh, I do have to make a decision. I have to say yes or no to certain people in my life, yes or no to certain decisions that can move myself and my business forward. So it's been an interesting switch per se of, okay, I do have control, but I don't want it. What do I do with those next steps of that? And can I trust myself moving forward with that?
You saw me do muscle testing for her. I do like to teach people how to do muscle testing on themselves. I usually will teach the sway test. If people want to stick around, I'm happy to show you how that is. And what that does is it starts to build intuition back again. We've just been so removed from our own intuition. You don't need to use muscle testing if you're connected in, but for a lot of us, we've been disconnected. And once you start to use muscle testing, doing this way, you can say, do I make this? And I would, if I can give feedback, instead of using the word decision is an energetic, it shuts off the energy. But if I say I'm making a choice, right? Do you feel the difference on that? Decision versus choice. And so I'm making a choice, right? So can I choose this or this? And so I would always test it first to see what's more in alignment. And so I'm happy to, if anyone wants to stick around afterwards, I'm happy to share how to do that. And as a result of that, that starts to strengthen that intuition muscle. And then we start to come back online. And once you're back online, then you can just say, the process that I do now is this, I just sense it. So I'll put my hand over it, I'll do some post-it notes or whatever, and just say, okay, if I make this choice, will this be a contribution to my life living around me? Yes, no, yes, no. And so then you can just feel in alignment. That doesn't mean that you don't have to do it, right? You guys have, some of you have heard my shelves. My mom used to collect salt and pepper shakers. And so she had a salt and pepper shaker room. And literally, it just was lined in shelves, okay? The whole room was shelves. And so I imagine that those shelves of just your shelf of possibility, right? And so something that may not be ready now, what we've been taught in the masculine energy is make it happen no matter what. This is your goal, make it happen, versus making it look like, versus being a target. And so we just force it to happen. And on one of the episodes, we talked about manufactured manifesting and manifested manifesting, which is allowance. They're very different, right? So when we get when we can get into timing of it, as, oh, this is a yes for now, or this is a yes for later, it goes back on the shelf of possibilities. And when it's ready, when it's ripe, when it's boom, it's booming, it gets pulled off, and it naturally will happen. And so you'll start to feel that. And so you'll start to be like more in the flow of it versus I've got to do this because my boss said. I've got to do this because if I don't do this, blah, 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 right? And so that's the energy that we're shifting from that masculine energy into this more feminine flow energy, which is in a more powerful state. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
Woman festing instead of man festing.
Woman fest. Oh, I love that. Manifesting. Yeah, I never liked the word manifesting. I always used to say the word generating.
Okay, so woman festing instead of manifesting when you let it be rather than trying to make it happen.
Yeah. Because you're putting your man hands on it. Just kidding. Only me. That's me. I do have it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. I want to do this. I want to walk through an exercise because I know that with all this energy that's coming up, I want to give everyone a tool that we can use to play with. So if you don't have a pen, does everyone have a pen? Oh yes! I didn't even know that.
Yes, I said the gift of a pen.
I mean, it's magic. Because we don't usually have you write stuff. All right, but today is the day. Oh, I love it when it happens like that. I'm going to send around, this is what we call a focus wheel, and this comes from back in the day from Abraham Hicks. So I'm going to pass around, I'm going to start some there, and I'm going to start some there. Whenever we're in the funk, and our thoughts and our emotions and how we're showing up get thrown off, if we can remember to go and just take a moment, take a beat, right? What this exercise does, and I just started filling one out as an example, but I want you to think about the emotion, the experience that you're having right now that doesn't feel super in alignment with you right this second, okay? So just take a moment, take survey of that. In the middle of the circle, I want you to write down, and if we can attach it to a feeling, to a higher frequency, a higher vibration of a feeling. So I'll give you an example. If you're feeling self-doubt and you want to feel in a more place of confidence, I feel like that's what I hear a lot from people. So I wrote down in the middle, I like feeling confident, secure, and loving. I like my desire. So it is your desired state of being. And if we can connect that to a feeling, because we want to get into that higher state. Now, the focus wheel this is how Abraham Hicks describes this, it's like getting on a merry-go-round, right? If the merry-go-round is going really fast and you try to jump on it at a higher place, you're gonna get thrown back off, right? So we gotta slow down the wheel to get on it, okay? So you're gonna start with anything that does not, if you cannot write it down and it cannot be true to you right now in the state, bump it. Does that make sense? You need to have things that are coming into around the circle. So we'll pick one, and we want to identify a feeling state, an emotional state, a thought state that we can start to create evidence to support the inner belief. Does that make sense? And so my first one that I started with, strong emotions signal that I am seeing things differently from my higher self. So I'm just showing, oh my gosh, this intensity is just meaning that I see it differently from my internal self, from what's really happening, right? My next stage, and I'm going to keep walking around to get into a better feeling place, okay? So the next one I have in here, I like that there's a larger part of me that already feels confident about this situation, right? There's not the whole percentage at this moment in stage, right? But there's a part of me that feels confident, right? Then the next little box, again, I'm just writing down things to help me feel better, okay? Slowly, we're raising the frequency, we're raising the vibration. So even in the midst of this situation, there are times I feel aligned to my inner being and my higher frequency thoughts and feelings, okay? And I'm just writing down I feel the situations, right? I like when I'm solid. I like when I'm solid in my alignment. This vibration brings me clarity and solutions. Okay, so I'm giving you some examples. So I want you to start with where you're at right now. What is your inner desire, which is in the middle? And then start with the feeling and a thought or a statement that starts to connect it. But you need to believe it, okay? So write down the things that you already believe that's connected to it, okay? If I say, I desire to be a millionaire, and I have billions of dollars in the bank, it's gonna be like, no, that doesn't make sense, right? Does that make sense? So start with where you're at, that place of space and being, and then continue to add to it. So I'll give you a few minutes here. Any questions before we start? Can you, oh, okay, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Do you wanna, okay. I was gonna say, we can take a picture before you leave. Okay. Thank you for my muffin, and thank you for my, she brought me this little ball marker, and this says the year of the horse, and which is so cute, and I'm a horse inside of a horse year, so I've proclaimed this as my golden year. Yes, I know, yes. Oh, Cheryl, you have your sweater.
What if you were lied to about being a horse your whole life?
What does that mean?
Because your Chinese calendar, so I'm a January 1. So I was always, in the year was always a horse. And so then there was, no, because you're January 1 and the Chinese New Year is until this, you're not actually a horse, you're a snake.
So it's based on the year you were born in.
They were saying it was basically the year, the person I talked to said it basically goes off of the Chinese New Year.
Yeah,
So I was always a horse
I'm like on
forever.
the cusp of a rabbit and a dragon, and I feel like I am a mix. It's weird.
Huh.
Because I'm a January, so usually February.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was
Things to wonder. Things to wonder.
Not my year.
I mean, does it feel like your year? Does it feel like your year? I say whatever it feels like, own it.
Got it.
But didn't the Chinese New Year start February?
It changes every year, so it's always like,
And this year, what was
yeah,
it?
I think it's the 17th.
Or 17th,
Yeah.
something like that. So
But it's still the year.
Yeah, but it's still the year you were born.
Yeah, so it would be the
But
year
the
you're
year
born.
the Chinese New Year didn't start this year, it's mid-February.
Fair. So yeah, to her point, because it's based on the year you were born. So if you were born in 1965, it would be that year,
Yeah.
the whole
Doesn't
year.
matter when Chinese.
Yeah, 'cause they would-
The Chinese New Year
yeah.
starts when it just starts, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you're not.
Yeah.
I think you were doing it fine. I think you're fine.
I think it got a little too confusing. It's
I
not
think
that,
you're fine.
yeah, it's not that.
Just go with it. Just go with it.
Whenever it serves me, I'll be the horse, and when it doesn't, then I'll be the snake.
There you go. Yeah. I feel like I was a dolphin in a past life or something, like a half mermaid dolphin. And a friend of mine has this best picture. It has a dolphin coming out of the water, and he's it's transforming it and mutating into a horse. And it just, oh my gosh, it resonates with me so strongly because I'm like, yes, I'm that and that.
You should see this thing I got at West Fest. Do you know about West Fest?
No.
I used to hold it in Western Colorado. Anyway, not far from here. There's this guy who did this beautiful metal art. And he had the horse, and on the horse was the Indian. And out of the back of the Indian were the feathers. He was free, he's flying on this horse. It was coming an eagle. There's,
Do you have it?
oh, yeah.
Will you send
Yeah,
a picture of it?
Don't leave there without it.
Yeah, send a picture of it to me.
It's just beautiful.
I'm Native American, the 160.
I know I was Indian and passed away.
So,
I'm just saying.
and I love the eagle. Yeah.
It's the horse running with the Indian like that. Yeah, it's just
It's real, yeah, and eagles are really, so here, Misha.
so.
Oh my gosh, can I borrow somebody's phone? And then get it to the internet, the internets.
The internet.
What do you need?
See, so look this up. It's such a great story, and I've said it before, but look up the life of an eagle. So an eagle is so profound. So an eagle can live up to, I want to say it's 150 years, but around the 70-year mark, it has a profound choice to make. and its beak becomes bent, and is it here? I wanted to get the fact checks. Okay, so it's 20 to 30 years, and then it has to make a choice. It can either die because its feathers are too thick, and its claws become they're not sharp enough anymore, and so it can either die, or it goes up to the mountain, and it bangs its beak and breaks off its beak until a new one grows out. And then it plucks out all of its feathers, and then new ones grow back. And then they pluck out its talons until new ones grow back. And it's 145 days for this process to happen. But when it does, it comes back and it has another 20 or 30 years to live. So I feel like you're going through the beak breaking process.
Banging my beak.
Did you see that? You would have loved it. Did you see that video?
Thank you.
Documentary about the guy with the octopus?
Oh,
The
yes.
octopus, same thing, right?
Yes.
The octopus, he was trying to feed it, and then one day it emerged with his tentacle back. That was an amazing.
Mr. Opus, right? Or
And
Mr.
then it would just attach itself to him. And
That was the octopus teacher.
The octopus, that's what it was. Yeah. So good.
That's
So
what-
magical. Yeah.
It's like,
I've never heard that story before.
Oh, but the eagle. Oh
I
my
haven't
gosh.
either.
Oh my gosh. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's like that's like that. It's like a rebirthing process. It is and it's not, right? And it's like, what's that?
Painful rebirth at that.
Yes. Stinking yes. And it has to do it to itself. It's not like it's like, hey friend, can you come and whack my beak for me? I think it would be easier. But you have to, it has to go through this powerful transformation. But then it gets a new, and I can't believe I forgot about that. But I feel like that's this moment in time where it's allowing us to this rebirthing process. And that's taking from what we had. And from my experience, when I went through this process not too long ago, I had to almost, again, walking again. I had already known how to walk, but it was doing it in a different way. Does this make sense?
It's like you have to leave your old habits behind, but you don't know that you have to, what habits need to be left behind. And you don't know what habits, new habits you need to develop for the new. Yes.
And so it was really about this rebirthing process that it's like, okay, I'm leaving that behind. And I almost had to go through this because I've been talking about manifestation and generating and creating for a long time. But I had to do it in a different way because it was taught on masculine energy. So I mastered it on this is it. I mastered it on masculine energy. Now I'm going over and remastering it on the feminine energy. Different energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I feel like you always feel like you have to go to the end of the pendulum, so you went too masculine. Now you're unfortunately going to go too feminine, but then allowing yourself to go to those extremes, you can come in the middle.
Yes.
And really master it.
What am I reading? Whatever. She's trying to debunk me here and saying that breaking its own beak and plucking it to live just is a myth.
Sorry, that's what it came up with.
the AI is stupid. Don't listen to the AI. Somebody writes it on the thing, it's a myth, and then the AI picks it up and tells you it's a myth. So you don't.
Me and my eagle friends.
I might not be a myth. It's all out there.
What's that?
It might not be a myth.
Yeah.
Because it's all.
I'm gonna have to now dig deeper onto this. Yeah.
This video will show you.
Oh yeah. Let's do this. I want you to play. Yes. Can you give us 2 seconds and we'll do a picture. I want you playing with this. I want you to continue. This is a great tool to play with and start using to shift your energy out of this. So once you're all the way through, you'll notice a shift. And then taking a step back and just celebrating, hey, feeling the shift energetically, because it will shift you in that new place and space. So I invite you to play with this as a tool. Obviously, pack your bag. Pack your bag if you don't have one. And finding the time, making the time and space. Once I got really intentional with creating the space, now I don't start my day until 10 a.m. And I always had this struggle with dropping off my daughter and figuring this out. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to drop my daughter off. I come back to the home. I do my process. So I don't start anything here until 10 o'clock or 10:30. Making sure that this is a priority. It is a do not pass go, do not collect $200. It is a must if you're going to ride the waves of this next year, 2 years, people are saying until 2030, which seems like a long time, but that's really only 4 years. But she said 2030, and I was like, what? And I was like, wait, oh, that's only 4 years. But 4 years is 4 years, right? So anyways, so I invite you to choose you first, do what is being called to you, and just listen, allow, surrender, be, to create more. All right, my friends, we're gonna pause there. We're gonna take a photo, and then if anyone needs to if anyone needs to leave, you are welcome to. If any of you want to come and join us for the after hours, you're welcome to. And then we'll have picture and testimonials over there. Okay, cool. Thank you. This focus wheel is really a tool to use to really shift the way that we're thinking and feeling about a certain particular situation. So identify that situation, define your new state of being, create statements that support it, shifting it as you go through. And by the end of the wheels, you will have shifted the energy around it, allowing you to return to that desired state of being that you're speaking life into. As we wrap up today, we really explored what it means to keep moving forward, even though it feels like you're on a marathon that you didn't train for. Not by denying the struggle, but shifting where we place our focus. What is working? What is in alignment, especially when the rug feels like it's been pulled out from underneath you? The instinct is to tighten control, but what we played with instead is to loosen the grip. Clear the need to have it a certain way, surrender, and redirect our focus. Transformation doesn't come with forcing outcomes. It comes from aligning with a different state of being. The focus wheel was one of those tools that we use to help us transform the resistance into a place of possibilities. Live in or are traveling to Colorado, be sure to connect to get a seat right here. Thank you so much for being part of the Entrepreneurial Girlfriend Hour. As always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Massive love, and we'll see you on the next episode.